What's going on, everybody? It's Triple Crown 24 back in the year 2021. Happy New Year to everyone. I sure hope this year is a lot better than the last one. There is a lot to kind of get right now, but hopefully by the end of next year, or this current year, I guess we can say now, things resemble a little bit more normalcy. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about some cards. So today I'm going to be talking about kind of what my collecting goals are for 2021. A quick look back at 2020. I didn't do like a year-end review or anything. My collecting goals and my dealer goals overall, I did pretty well. The dealer goals I won't talk about in this video, but I got to where I wanted to be, which was nice, and I'm hoping for even bigger things in 2021, but I want to leave the business stuff out of it. As a collector, I hit on most of the goals. There were some that I fell short on. Some of them were just circumstantial, such as the cards not popping up, or I kind of ran out of steam on some of them too. But hopefully here in 2021, I can make a big push for some of those goals. Now, in the past, a lot of my goals were kind of quantified and a little bit more unspecific. This year, I'm going to be targeting certain cards, and that's why I came up with this 21 for 21 idea. So these are 21 cards that I would like to add to my super collection of Miguel Cabrera in the year 2021. Now, will I obtain all 21 of these cards? Never say never, but it's pretty improbable. Some of them that you'll see here today you actually won't see because I don't have a picture of them because I can't find them anywhere, and that's going to be the biggest obstacle. Some of these cards are not cheap, so the budget is definitely going to be an obstacle there as well. If I can get about half of them on this list, I would say it would be a successful year, but I definitely want to become a little bit more focused in terms of which cards I am targeting. Now, I've always said that I go after what is the best deal in my eyes for Cabrera cards because he has so many of them that I can kind of pick and choose where I want to go and get whatever is the best bang for my buck rather than paying up for a specific card. But this year, I kind of want to target things that will help me complete runs or cards that I feel are undervalued now that if I don't get it now, I might have a difficult time getting it in the future. Some of them I just think are really cool and I want to pick them up. So that is kind of what we're looking at today, and I'll explain each one here. But let's go ahead and get into it. I would also love to hear what your collecting goals are in the comments down below, whether that's a link to your collecting goals video or you just want to leave a comment and let me know what you're looking to do this year in the hobby. Let's go ahead and get started. First card on my list is going to be picking up on a goal from 2020 that I fell short on, and that would be completing my run of Topps Gold Parallels. And to do that, I am one card away, and therefore it's number one on my list. The 2003 Topps Traded Gold, numbered out of 2003. This is probably the most likely that I am to pick up among the 21 on my list this year, only for the fact that, well, I think it might have the highest print run out of all the ones on my list. These aren't difficult to come by, but they have definitely gone up in price. I've kept putting it off, thinking that I could find it cheaper, and it turns out I've kind of waited too long. So I'm gonna have to just kind of go out, spend the money, and get one of these. You can get them for less than what they're asking for here, but it's the last one I need to complete the gold run. He first appeared in 2000 Topps Traded, but that was a factory set, so they didn't have the non-numbered gold parallels back then in the factory traded sets. Instead, they started the ones where they're numbered to the year of release in 2001. So this is Cabrera's first appearance since that box set, and therefore his first gold card, but I do have the rest of them. And I'm only including the flagship cards that are his like regular base. This doesn't include any league leaders or all-star game cards from update series, traded series, whatever the case may be. But those are definitely ones that I always look to acquire for the right price. All right, this one is kind of cheating a little bit. This is number 2 through 8 because I do need 7 of these cards, and that would be the Topps Black run. So in addition to the Topps Gold run, I would like to complete the Topps Black, which is numbered to the amount of years that Topps Baseball has been released. Now, there have been some times where they messed it up, like I think 2018, they duplicated the number into 2019, so they were like both numbered to 67 when one of them should have been numbered to 68. But in general, it follows that same pattern. I believe in 2021, Topps Series 1, the blacks will be out of 70. I believe they could change it, but I need 7 different ones to complete that run. Now, these are tougher to come by. To tell you how tough they are, I couldn't find half of them listed with pictures, so I went with one that I actually already have as just kind of an example. This and the Topps Gold run, I think, are classic runs, and I love the fact that they pretty much span Miggy's whole career. Now, they don't have them in the 2003 traded set, and of course, they don't have them in the 2000 Topps traded box set, but for his non-update playing days cards, his entire career is during the Topps Gold and Topps Black era. So I really do value that a lot. I think it's really cool that you can kind of have a parallel from every year of his career, and I don't see those ending anytime soon, so they should extend here in the final years of his career as well. So those are the types of runs that I really like to put together, and that's why I'm targeting these remaining 7 Topps Black cards. If I could get about half of them this year, I'd consider that a big win. They're not cheap. They're not easy to come by, so there's a lot of obstacles with this one, but fingers crossed. All right, number 9. Again, not a good sign because I can't even find a picture of the card, so I have to choose the base version. This is the 2005 Fleer National Pastime, and I'm looking specifically for the white foil parallel. This is a rainbow that I am 1 card shy on, and I did not find a copy of this one in 2020. The white foils are numbered to the player's jersey number, so in this case for Cabrera, they're numbered to 24, which isn't all that bad. I would say it's probably average for the players on the checklist. A lot of the guys, I mean, if you're like a Jeter collector, then those are numbered to 2. So good luck to you on that one. So I'm thankful that at 24, it kind of gives me more of a fighting chance to find one. Still not easy though. These cards are over 15 years old, and it's not really a product that's all that popular or talked about anymore. So it's an obscure product, and it's an obscure parallel, and that usually makes for a difficult time to find it. But you never know when one might pop up. But you can bet if it does pop up in 2021, I will be there. All right, let's go ahead and move to number 10. Again, I don't have a picture for it, so I went to my Twitter banner, and you'll see here I got my little super lineup here. And I'm focusing on this one on the far right. This was the first super fractor I ever bought, the 2018 Bowman Chrome, and I've been looking for the final card for this rainbow for quite some time now. It's been on my wish list for a hot minute. That would be the 2018 Bowman Chrome Red Refractor at number 10 on my list. And of course, these are in no specific order. I'll take whichever ones I can get. I just like to have the rainbows, especially on these refractors, when I can go after them. There are a lot of bigger fish in the Miggy Pond, or Miggy Sea, depending on how you want to look at it, that can usually beat me on a lot of the rainbows. But in the few times that I have been able to track down one of the super fractors, it definitely motivates me to go after those reds or the other tough ones a lot more. So fingers crossed I'll see a red. You're going to hear me say fingers crossed a lot because it's not always the case. And then another one that I need the rainbow on, and again, I don't have a picture of the actual card. It's just because I can't find one. That would be the 2013 Prism Gold, which is out of 10. Now, Prism Baseball has gotten a little bit more love here in 2021. I imagine it will continue to grow. It shot up in popularity a little bit more in 2020 as 2012 Prism Basketball and Football gains traction. 13 is not nearly as expensive on the baseball side as basketball and football, which is pretty much the same case of 2012. This is the Black Finite Prism, which is the 1 of 1. I've had this card for quite some time. It was one of the first 1 of 1s in my collection. And I went ahead and picked up the remaining smaller cards in the rainbow in 2020. But there has been one that has eluded me, and that would be the gold out of 10. Being out of 10, it's going to be tough, but again, just hopefully one pops up. And a little, I guess, honorable mention here would be a 2012 Prism Gold. If it does pop up, I would like to add one of those as well, but that one just missed out the list. So now we move into the pre-Tigers Day cards, as I like to call them. Basically, they're Marlins cards. And I talked about this in a video long ago about what I call page one cards, and that talks about like getting the first 100 cards on trading card databases list for Miguel Cabrera's entire run of cards that he has out there. And pretty much that first page spans from 2000 through most of the cards he has in 2003, which was his technical rookie season. And I like to pick up those early ones. There's a lot of really cool oddball minor league cards, Venezuelan league cards in there, just stuff that's different from what the majority of my collection is made of. And then, of course, you have some of the prospect cards that are tough. I have all 8 of his cards from the year 2000, so I'm starting to branch out a little bit more and try to pick up the second or third year prospect cards. This is one of them that I've kind of had a few goes at in the past, but I think this will be the year that I finally track it down. It is the 2001 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor. These are numbered 299, as you can see here on the back. Now, this card is not worth as much as they are asking for right here. I know that probably when I clicked on this, someone was a little starstruck to see $10,000. So was I when I first saw this listing. Realistically, this card is probably more so in the $200 to $300 range. So I would say this one in particular I won't be going after, but there are 98 more. Now, I have missed out on the bidding for 2 of them last year. They just kind of popped up at auction at the wrong time for me when funds were not available and I had to let them go. But they seem to be popping up more frequently than they have in the past. I did have an opportunity to buy one of these at a show, but the guy wanted a little bit too much. I think he wanted like $300, which wasn't really willing to go above 2 at the time. The card has gone up since then, of course. Everything's gone up since then. So it's not that bad of a deal right now. Perhaps if that guy still had it and it was still that price, I'd jump on it. But I'm patient with this one. The one thing that kind of deters me from this card is that this is not Miguel Cabrera pictured. This is an uncorrected error that pictures Denny Batista. So since it's not Cabrera on the actual card, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same appeal to me as it would if it did. Then otherwise, this would definitely be one that would be a must-have, but still one that I'm very much so after. Next on the list is the 2002 Bowman Draft Chrome Refractor out of 300. Now, there is a gold refractor for this one as well that is out of 50. The prices are pretty up there at this point in time, and I don't think that I can afford to go after one of those at the moment. So I'll settle for this one for now, but I mean, this is nothing to scoff at. These things are absolutely beautiful. The refractors being numbered out of 300. We don't really see too many refractors that are numbered these days, but a lot of these early to mid-2000s Bowman products have shorter print runs on the refractors, which makes them kind of undervalued. A lot of Cabrera's Marlins Day refractors have gone up in price in 2020 and fully expect that to continue in 2021. So this is along the same lines of the gold refractor that I just showed. Want to get it now before it's too late. Again, this price probably a little bit too high, but I don't know exactly how far off this one is at this time, really. So will be interesting to see if I can track that down. All right, moving along here, next one up, looking at some red refractors. Now, I have kind of fallen in love with the red refractors. I don't know what it is, but they are generally fairly scarce. And in tops, they are now numbered to 5. They used to be numbered to 25 back in the day, and for that reason, I am going to be targeting the one from 2012. Of course, his Triple Crown year, and I've been targeting a lot of the 2012 cards in 2020. I would like to continue to do that in 2021. Just being from his Triple Crown year, I think that's incredibly cool. And I was able to get this gold refractor last year that I absolutely love. It's only fitting that I add the red to go along with it, because I believe I have the rest of the rainbow at this point, minus the sepia. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where I stand right now. I'll have to check my checklist. And speaking of rainbows that I have a lot of progress on, this one as well, the 2013 red refractor, I put that right up there as well. This card, I don't like that it's horizontal and that he's sliding into home plate, but I actually have pretty decent progress on this particular rainbow, and I actually filled up my Z-Folio page that has all the different parallels of this. So this was one that would be a non-Z-Folio card, but with how much progress I have, it's kind of one by default that I would go after. Of course, if the Superfractor ever popped up, I'd be going after that, but there are no one-of-ones on my list today just because they're definitely much more of a needle in a haystack find. So the 2013 Rotofractor is on the list. We got a cameo for Rafael Devers here. Shout out to Canadian Cards. Because I am looking to get the 2018 Topps Independence Day Miguel Cabrera. Now, the Independence Day parallel has been around since 2018. This was its first go at the Topps parallel run, and I absolutely love the 2018 Independence Days. I think they look so cool. They are miles beyond the 2020 and 2019 sequels that they had, in my opinion. And I haven't seen a Cabrera listed in quite some time, which is surprising because this product has gained a lot of momentum. Series 1 2018 wasn't too popular. It was in the clearance bins of Walmart for a very long time whenever I would look for retail wax, back when you could find retail wax. And when kind of a lot of people started getting on Devers and Albies and some of the rookies in this Series 1, a lot of people started ripping it. I'm very surprised to not see a Cabrera Independence Day pop up. I did have a chance to buy this one. It was in a Gem Mint 10, and it was early last year. I decided to pass on it because I didn't want to pay the premium for the 10. I don't regret that decision, but I'm really starting to wonder when I will see another one. It might be one of those that I'm going to have to overpay for, but hopefully this will be the year I finally see one reemerge, which you'd think a 2018 card would be a little easier to find. This is another one that will, the sticker price might shock some, and thankfully I'm not going to be paying this much for this one because that would be a lot of my card budget right there. But I would like to add a 2020 Topps Dynasty Miguel Cabrera patch autograph, or really, if I can't find a nice 2021, a 14 or 19 version of the Dynasty patch auto would be nice as well. I absolutely love Topps Dynasty, and believe it or not, I do not have a Topps Dynasty Miggy autograph in my collection. I have never won an auction for one. I have tried many times, and I always come up short. So this is definitely one that I would like to kind of get the monkey off my back. I'm pretty confident that I will achieve this goal in 2021. In general, I've put these cards on the back burner. Usually something else comes up that I feel is more of a well, it's never a necessity, I'll say, but I feel there's more urgency to pick up that card because I may never see it again, and that kind of pushes the Dynasty to the back burner. So I'm looking for a pose that I like. I'm looking for probably one that's numbered to 10, the ones out of 5, and of course, as you can see here, the one-of-ones are pretty expensive. So I just need one that's numbered to 10. Hopefully one emerges for the right price, and I can go ahead and snag it up. And then there's going to be some more non-specific cards here to kind of round it out. So I don't have a specific card to target per se for these, but I would like to own a copy. And the reason that I'm doing it this way is just because I have a lot of options out there, and these are pretty tough. So I got to kind of expand my options for this one because I can't focus in on one specific card. But I would like to own a Miguel Cabrera Own the Name patch from Topps. And to tell you how rare they are, as you can see here, the only one that I could find on eBay is actually from Topps Sterling. So what these are is that they take the letters off the player's nameplate on the back of the jersey, they cut them up and they turn them into one-of-one cards that are put out in Topps flagship. Now, I did say earlier there are no one-of-ones on this list, and technically these are kind of like printing plates where people will argue they're out of 4. For Cabrera, his last name is 7, so really there are 7 different one-of-ones you could say, but they're kind of all the same thing because they're just a different letter. In fact, there's some that repeat. Obviously, there's 2 R's and 2 A's in his last name, so those are kind of one and the same in a sense. But I would eventually like to have one where I could spell out his entire last name. That is definitely not something that I will achieve this year, but to get on the board at least and find one of them, definitely something that I want to do. So any of the 7 letters from any of the years, doesn't matter what they are, I would like to track one down. Kind of the same with this one. Not necessarily a letter patch like this one, but I do love these triple threads booklets. Shout out to Bill, the Hall of Fame collector. I know that he has one of these Miggies. I love the triple threads. Always been one of my favorite products every year ever since I started collecting. And I have a couple of Miggy booklet cards, none of the vertical ones though, and I think that these sleeves or the letter slash logo patch look absolutely phenomenal. I would love to own one. I don't know what it's been, but I've been kind of a patch slash relic kick as of late, and it's kind of made me want to target some of these higher end relic cards. I know they're not for everyone, but they look cool to me. I like to add one. I like to have a bunch of different types of one-of-ones. This one in particular is out of 3, so hopefully I can find a higher numbered one. Sometimes they're as high as out of 9, so that could open some doors for me. And the last 2 are going to be dual autographs. So this one is one of those where there are multiple options for the different types of cards. I definitely do prefer on card, but I will take a sticker. And this is just 2 greats of the game that have multiple cards where they signed with Miguel Cabrera. And to add their autographs to my collection and have a reason to would be fantastic. Now, I do have both these guys in my collection already, but I would love to have them with Miggy. And the first one would be the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. Now, the challenge to picking a popular player like this to have with Miggy is that not only do you compete against people who collect Miggy, you compete against people who collect this player. And Ken Griffey Jr., he's pretty popular. So whenever he's together with Miggy, as well as this next guy that will wrap up the list, it's tough to find it for a good price. However, I am very excited to target these. These autographs have Cabrera in his Marlins uniform. He does not have any sign with Griffey where he's in the Tigers uniform, and the Marlins autographs are in general much cheaper than the Tigers autographs. Same with Ken Griffey Jr. He is pictured with the Reds on all of the cards rather than the Mariners, which will definitely help me out. From my experiences, the Mariners ones seem to hold a premium over the Reds ones, so kind of a circumstantial type of thing where I can get both the signatures regardless of what team the player is pictured with. Now, there are a lot of different options. This price is absolutely insane. It's not going to be this expensive. I've seen some that go for like a couple $100s, and I think if I really play my cards right, no pun intended, I could get it for even less than that, but it's going to require some patience. It's going to require some looking around, but I think that this year I could make a strong push for that one. And if not that one, then this last one, which is probably my #1 goal this year, is to get a dual autograph of Miggy and Mike Trout. Now, I actually did pick up a Mike Trout autograph, which has since been sold. Did not stay in my possession for too long, but this is definitely one of those kind of passing of the torch cards, if you will. I would say if you look at like who the face of baseball is, you look at the 2000s. I put A-Rod and Pujols kind of in that same spot. Then after Pujols left St. Louis, you kind of had those 2 years where Miggy won back-to-back MVPs and, of course, the Triple Crown. That's kind of where I think Miggy was somewhat of the face of baseball, and then Trout kind of takes that from him in 2014 when Trout wins his first MVP award. Of course, Trout had 2 great seasons in 2012 and 2013. You could have easily argued he should have won the MVP awards in those years as well. But I feel like these are, it's kind of like a merging of 2 generations of baseball here that meet each other with Miggy and Trout. I absolutely love Trout. He's a phenomenal player. Who wouldn't want to have a Trout autograph in their collection? But it would mean a little bit more to me if he was with Miggy. Again, the options for this card have presented themselves to me before. I just didn't have the funds to do it at this time. Trout autographs, they're not cheap. And the ones with Miggy are going to be out of 25 or less when they are serial numbered. If they're not serial numbered, chances are the print run is going to be, again, 25 or less. So I have my work cut out for me on that one. This one is going to be a challenge in terms of finding one just because there aren't too many on the market, and also finding one for a price that sounds good to me because they're not always the most affordable as well. But I'm confident that this will be the year to finally cross this one off the list. And with that, my long-winded video finally comes to an end. It wouldn't be a Triple Crown 24 video without rambling on for extended periods of time, but expect more of it to come in 2021. I'm looking forward to all the great content that hopefully I can put out for you guys this year, as well as watching some great content. I've been slacking a little bit lately. Apologies for that. Should have some a little bit more time here in January, I would say. Things are a little bit slower at the start of this kind of new year until we get to spring training time. Then things kind of start to pick up for me again. But again, I would love to hear your collecting goals for 2021 in the comments down below to continue the discussion. Hopefully you enjoyed my rundown here. Thank you for staying till the end if you're still here. I'll be sure to see you next time. Until then, have a good one, stay safe, and be kind.